Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And Panos asked, are you for or against smart contracts on the XRP ledger? Look at this, 73%, just shy of 73%, said that yes, they are for, and 27% were against. Now, smart contracts, that brings programmability. That's logic that's written in code that can say, if this is met, then this happens. It is so important for tokenization and for any sort of technology that requires a transfer of trustless money. Some people say just use Zahao. That was a soft fork of the code and it has hooks. That works perfectly fine for people who want smart contracts. Or some say, nah, just use Flare. Flare Networks is providing those smart contracts with the use of XRP in multiple ways. Or you have those that say just use the EVM sidechain built by Peersys. Well, I'm not sure what is going to happen, but I will tell you there is some small baby steps taking place to put programmability onto the ledger. Now, it requires a lot of testing. They got to really test the effects on the load, the fees, and it's been a really big topic debated in live spaces. That stress testing will tell us a lot. I put out a poll on X just for 24 hours and really asked about these baby steps. Who is interested in what's going on? Because just a tiny number, fewer than 50 people really are participating in these active and very passionate debates, but still it's a very small slice of the community. So 58.4% say they don't care about that. They only care about the XRP price. 32.3% said they had no idea of the change. That is a shocking amount for me. Technology bores me, just 2.8%. I was happy to see that low amount. And those that are on my X feed, I don't care about XRP, 6.5%. Fair enough. I've got a lot of followers and I do cover a lot of other networks. One of those networks I'm really interested in is the Yellow Network, and it was funded by Chris Larsen, the Ripple chairman. It's a layer 3, and yes, it was integrated with XRP through the EVM sidechain. You can see XRP at the top of that stack, which really, if you start from the bottom, begins with Ethereum and Solana, Arbitrum, Binance. They are solving with smart contracts mostly a liquidity problem across chain and with custody. This is a big project. This has a big vision, and you'll probably hear me talk about it often. It's led by Alexis Sikira. He is a really big guy in the space, co-founder of GSR, the largest market maker in the world. Yes, they do market making for Ripple. And they have participated in funding nearly 300 projects. Most recently, Doppler Finance also received funding for them. So I just can't wait to tell you more about this, but you can see that these smart contracts, as we go into cross-chain solutions, is just a must. One of those who've really powered the smart contracts technology is Chainlink. I was not paying attention soon enough. This is a new report out by Masari, and they have said that they're just not powering the price feeds anymore. It's becoming the backbone of on-chain finance. 322 billion in tokenized real-world assets. They're working closely with JP Morgan, Fidelity, UBS, and of course Swift. And the stack that they're building is pretty incredible. I would say that you want to keep your eyes wide open on Chainlink. Now, a perfect example of Flare providing those smart contracts for the XRP ledger. Listen to this. This is a brand new interview, and you're going to see how the solution has been solved where you don't have to move your XRP, and they just integrated with Uphold. Have a listen.
So smart wallets allow a XRP user to only ever make transactions on the XRP ledger. They never need to come to Flare. So they can bridge their XRP to Flare and direct where that XRP goes on Flare without ever touching Flare.
Here are the ETFs coming up for the digital asset XRP. Yeah, we've got a lot. Look at that. Franklin Templeton, Bitwise, 21 shares, CoinShares, Grayscale, and Wisdom Tree. It's going to be a big week, everyone. Here's the comptroller of the currency, Jonathan Gould, and he has defended the use of the National Trust Bank charters to get a banking license. Plus, he's proposing new rules for stablecoin issuers. He wants rules for liquidity, and he wants operational risk standards. The source, PricewaterhouseCoopers. I'm going to leave you with a curated clip that just tells you what keeps me up at night. Yeah, this topic is just something that I can't get enough of, and I think you'll find the same once you start to dive in. So until next time, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
The speed at which things are happening I have never in my life seen anything faster, okay? And I will draw the attention of everyone to one specific technology that I absolutely need you to study today, okay? Which is known as self-evolving AI. A great example of that is something called Alpha Evolve, okay? So most of us in tech understand intrinsically something that's known as the technology adoption curve. Sorry, the technology acceleration curve. So basically, the law of accelerating returns, Moore's law, if you want, okay? That everything will double and double and double and double and double, and that the first couple of doublings don't matter. When Intel, I don't know, early 1970s had 50 megahertz, when they doubled to 100, right? But when they now have, say, 100 billion processors on a chip, when you double that, you have another 100 billion on the chip, okay? And within 2 years, you have a massive amount of new technology at your fingertips. Self-evolving AI, we've seen AI so far grow like this. We're waiting for a moment that we normally refer to as the intelligence explosion. And that moment is a runaway moment beyond which AI does not even follow the law of accelerating returns. It starts to go vertical, okay? And that moment, in most of our geeks' view, is the moment when the smartest being on the planet starts to develop AI, okay? And the smartest being on the planet in coding today, and the smartest being on the planet in mathematics today, is no longer human, okay? And so most of the big players have started to ask AI to develop AI. And one of my favorite examples is something called Alpha Evolve by Google. And Alpha Evolve is a team of 4 AIs that basically look at their own code and say, what are the performance issues here? How can we improve it? So one of them writes a bit of code. One of them runs the code and tests it. One of them takes the best code and replaces the original code, and then they run it again, okay? And just to give you an example, when Google asked Alpha Evolve, one member of Alpha Evolve is called Alpha Tensor. And Alpha Tensor said one of our performance issues is that our way of multiplying matrices is stupid, okay? And I can guarantee you, I'm a very serious math geek, it's the method we've used for 56 years. It's the most efficient method humanity knew, okay? And the machine looked at it and said, I can do better. So it literally developed new mathematics from first principles that we are now learning from an AI to rewrite the way that Google multiplies matrices. And you can just imagine a 10% improvement in the speed and the complexity of mathematics on a computer system is a 10% improvement in the cost and the infrastructure and the speed of Google. That's hundreds of billions of dollars, like that, okay? And this cycle, I believe, is going to get to the breakout point, to the explosion. My belief is around early 2026. And so we are that close.
6 months.
Yeah, we're that close to a point where we will have a runaway intelligence, okay? The only challenge will be infrastructure.
So when we talk about democratization of access to AI systems, that's just hogwash, right? That's just people messing around with photos. What's actually capable in these systems is something a lot of people, 99% potentially of people on the planet, have no access to.
Yeah, so for $20, which is what I pay for Gemini 2.5, you have an infinite amount of surplus intelligence. Why? Because Gemini definitely is smarter than I am, okay? So most people keeps being stuck in the definition of artificial general intelligence, a moment in human history where AI is smarter than humans at everything. My AGI happened, okay? You know, I'm an author. Gemini knows more than I am, okay? Does the job I do in 4 weeks, they do it in 4 minutes, right? And I used to be very arrogant and say, but I beat them in mathematics until the end of 2024. I am a primary school student compared to them in mathematics today, and I have to say it hurts, right? But myself and most of my math geeks, we've just, you know, put our hands in the air and said, yeah, teach us, okay? And it's quite interesting that for $20, you get access to that level of intelligence. For, you know, in my current startup, it's not even for $20. We're using an open source AI to build an entire infrastructure, okay? Yeah, it's not, you know, ChatGPT 5, but you don't need the intelligence of ChatGPT 5 to deliver something that is superior to human intelligence. And it's open source, it's available for everyone. So the only barrier, if you ask me, is are you going to sit down and start to use it?